My name is Vincent. I'm 45 years old. And last Christmas, my daughter told me I wasn't welcome. Let me take you back. 28 years ago, I held my baby girl for the first time. Sarah. She had these tiny fingers that wrapped around mine. I promised her everything. Protection. Levee. A father who'd never leave. I kept that promise through scraped knees and first heartbreaks, through college applications and her wedding day. I walked her down the aisle. I cried like a child. Her husband, Trevor, seemed like a good man. Stable job, kind eyes. He shook my hand firmly. "I'll take care of her, sir," he said. I believed him. For years, everything felt normal. Sunday dinners at their house, birthdays, Thanksgiving. I'd bring Sarah's favorite pie, apple crumble. She'd hug me at the door. "Dad, you didn't have to." But her smile said she was glad I did. My wife passed 6 years ago. Cancer. Sarah was my anchor after that. She'd call every Tuesday. "Just checking on you, Dad." Those calls kept me going, kept me from drowning in that empty house, but then small things started to change. The Tuesday calls became shorter, then every other week, then once a month. When I'd visit, Trevor would barely look up from his phone by time. Sarah seemed distracted, tired. "Just busy with work, Dad," she'd say. I told myself it was normal. People get busy. Life happens. But something felt off, like watching a plant slowly wilt. You don't notice until the leaves are brown. Last November, I called Sarah about Christmas plans. She hesitated. "Dad, we need to talk." "Trevor and I have been discussing it," Sarah said. Her voice was cold, professional, like I was a client, not her father. "We think it's best if you don't come for Christmas this year." Silence. I stood in my kitchen. Phone pressed to my ear. The world tilted. "What do you mean?" I asked. "You're just a lot, Dad. Trevor feels uncomfortable. You make comments. You're always asking questions. We need space." Comments? Questions? I asked about their lives. I asked if they were happy, if they needed anything. "Sarah, I don't understand." "It's decided. We'll see you after the holidays." Click. She hung up. I stared at the phone. My hand shook. That empty house suddenly felt smaller, suffocating. I called back. Voicemail. I texted. Nothing. 3 days later, her brother, my son, Jason, called me. "Dad, what did you do?" he asked. "What did I do?" "Sarah's upset. She says you've been overbearing, that you criticized Trevor." "I never. She's my sister. I believe her." Another disconnect. I sat alone that night, played back every conversation, every visit. Where did I go wrong? Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Mr. Vincent, Mr. Vincent, this is Kelly, Sarah's coworker. We met at her birthday party. I think you should know something." My chest tightened. "Trevor's been telling Sarah you're toxic, that you manipulate her. He's been isolating her from you for months. I overheard him on a call last week. He said, once her dad's out of the picture, we can finally control the inheritance." "I'm sorry. I thought you should know." I read it 3 times. Inheritance. My wife left Sarah a trust fund. $400,000. Accessible when she turned 35. That was next year, Trevor knew. I scrolled back through months of memories. Every cold shoulder, every canceled visit, every time Sarah forgot to call back. He poisoned her against me. And she believed him. I felt something crack inside me. Not just heartbreak, something deeper. A father's love turning into something sharper, colder. But they made one mistake. They thought I was broken. I wasn't broken. I was awake. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my kitchen table, made coffee, started writing. I needed proof. Not just Kelly's word. Solid evidence. First, I called my lawyer, Richard. We'd been friends for 30 years. I told him everything. He listened, didn't interrupt. "Vincent, I need you to be smart about this," he said. "Don't confront them. Document everything." So I did. I pulled up my wife's will. The trust fund had conditions. Sarah couldn't access it if she was under undue influence from a spouse. My wife added that clause. She was smart. She knew people change when money's involved. Next, I reached out to Kelly. We met at a coffee shop. She looked nervous. She handed me her phone. Screenshots. Text messages between Trevor and his brother. Once Sarah's old man is gone, we're set. That 400K is basically ours. She doesn't suspect anything? Nah, she thinks he's just a controlling old man. Easy. I felt sick, but I kept reading. There were more messages, plans to convince Sarah to cut me out completely, plans to move out of state once the money came through. Can I have copies of these? I asked Kelly. She nodded. I already sent them to your email. Trevor's a snake. Sarah's a good person. She deserves to know. I thanked her, left the coffee shop. My hands were steady now. Calm. But I wasn't done yet. I hired a private investigator. Expensive. Worth it. Within a week, he found more. Trevor had gambling debts, $60,000 worth. He'd been hiding it from Sarah. Bank statements, casino receipts, online poker accounts. He needed that inheritance. Desperately. I also discovered something else. Trevor had been texting another woman. Friendly. Too friendly. Can't wait to see you after the holidays, babe. I saved everything, built a file, printed copies, organized them like a prosecutor preparing for trial. Now came the hardest part. Waiting. Christmas was 3 weeks away. I knew Trevor and Sarah were hosting a big dinner. Family, friends, Sarah's coworkers, Trevor's brother. I sent a polite email to Sarah. I respect your decision. I love you. I'll always be here when you're ready. She replied. One line. Thanks, Dad. It stung, but it kept the door open. 2 days before Christmas, I called Trevor's brother, Andrew. I'd met him once. Arrogant guy, big mouth. Andrew, it's Vincent, Sarah's dad. Hi? I need to ask you something, man to man. Did Trevor tell you about Sarah's inheritance? Silence. Because I know he's in debt, and I know he's planning to use my daughter. Look, man, that's between you and... I have screenshots of your conversations. He went quiet. If you care about your brother, you'll tell him to come clean. Before I do. I hung up. Now the trap was set. Christmas Eve arrived. I drove to Sarah's house, unannounced. I parked down the street, waited until I saw cars arriving, guests, laughter through the windows. I walked up to the door, rang the bell. Sarah answered. Her face went pale. Dad, what are you... I need 5 minutes, I said. Calm, steady. Please. She hesitated. Trevor appeared behind her. Sarah, don't... 5 minutes, I repeated. Then I'll leave, forever if you want. She let me in. The living room went silent. 10 people, all staring. I pulled out an envelope, handed it to Sarah. What is this? She asked. The truth. She opened it, started reading. Her face changed. Confusion, shock, horror. Trevor lunged forward. Don't listen to him. He's manipulating you. Shut up, Sarah whispered. She kept reading. Screenshots, bank statements, text messages, the whole file. Her hands shook. Trevor, is this real? She asked. Her voice cracked. Trevor's face turned red. Babe, I can explain. Is it real? She screamed. Silence. You told me my dad was toxic. You said he was controlling. You said he didn't care about me. Tears streamed down her face. You made me push him away, my own father, the man who raised me, who loved me, who never missed a single moment of my life. Trevor tried to speak. She held up her hand. Get out. Sarah, please, get out. Trevor looked around. No one moved. His brother Andrew stood near the door. He wouldn't even look at him. Trevor grabbed his coat, slammed the door on his way out. The room stayed silent. Awkward, heavy. Sarah collapsed into a chair. She sobbed. Deep, broken sobs. I knelt beside her, put my hand on her shoulder. I'm so sorry, Dad, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I know, sweetheart. I should have known. I should have seen it. He was good at what he did. She looked up at me, eyes red. How did you find out? I told her everything. Kelly, the investigator, the messages, the debts. He was going to leave me, she said, after the money came through. I nodded. She cried harder. I held her, like I did when she was 7 and fell off her bike, like I did when her first boyfriend broke her heart. I don't know what to do, she said. You heal, I said, one day at a time. The guests slowly left, uncomfortable, whispering. Sarah's coworker, Kelly, stayed behind. She hugged Sarah. You're stronger than you know, she told her. Jason, my son, showed up an hour later. Sarah had called him. He looked at me, guilt written all over his face. Dad, I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. You were protecting your sister. I understand. He hugged me, tight. I'm an idiot. You're my son. That night, the three of us sat together. Pizza, quiet conversation. It wasn't the Christmas I'd imagined, but it was real. Sarah filed for divorce 2 days later. Trevor tried to contest it, but with the evidence, his lawyer told him to settle. It was over in 3 months. The inheritance stayed protected, untouched. Sarah donated half of it to a women's shelter. For people escaping bad situations, she said. She moved into a small apartment, started therapy. We had lunch every Sunday. Slowly, she started smiling again. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't change me. I'd won. Trevor was gone. Sarah was safe. But I felt hollow, like I'd lost something in the process. Maybe innocence. Maybe the belief that people were good. I started seeing a therapist too. Talked about the anger, the betrayal, the fact that my own daughter believed I was the villain. Do you forgive her? My therapist asked. I'm trying, I said. And I was. 3 months later, Sarah came to my house. She brought flowers, sat across from me at the kitchen table. Dad, I need to say something. I waited. I didn't just believe Trevor because he was convincing. I believed him because it was easier. You reminded me of Mom. Every time I saw you, I remembered losing her. It hurt. So I let him create distance. I let him make you the bad guy, because it was easier than facing my grief. She cried again. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just need you to know it wasn't your fault. I reached across the table, held her hand. I forgive you, I said. She looked up, surprised. You're my daughter. I loved you before you were born. I'll love you after I'm gone. That doesn't change. She squeezed my hand. And that's when I realized this story wasn't about them anymore. 6 months later, Sarah met someone new, a teacher. Quiet guy, kind eyes. He shook my hand, firm, respectful. Nice to meet you, sir, he said. I studied him, looking for red flags, lies, hidden motives. Sarah saw my face, laughed. Dad, relax, he's one of the good ones. I smiled. I'll be the judge of that. But she was right. Over time, I saw it. The way he listened to her, the way he didn't rush her, the way he respected boundaries. One Sunday, he joined us for lunch. He asked about my late wife, about my life. He didn't just make small talk, he cared. Your daughter talks about you all the time, he said. She says you're her hero. I looked at Sarah. She blushed. You saved me, Dad, she said softly. You saved yourself, I told her. I just gave you the tools. That Christmas, 1 year after the disaster, we celebrated together. Jason, Sarah, her new boyfriend. Just us. No drama, no lies, just family. Sarah handed me a gift. I unwrapped it. A framed photo. Me holding her as a baby. Handwritten below. To the man who never gave up on me. I tried not to cry. Failed. You know what I learned? Sarah said. Betrayal doesn't just come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people you share a bed with, but love, real love, that doesn't quit, even when you push it away. She was right. Trevor tried to destroy us. He almost did. But he forgot something. You can manipulate feelings, you can twist words, but you can't fake 28 years of love. I still think about that phone call. Dad, you're not welcome. It broke me, but it also woke me up. I realized I couldn't control who hurt my daughter, but I could control whether I gave up on her. And I didn't. Some people asked if I regretted exposing Trevor publicly, if I felt guilty. Honestly, no. He made his choices. I just made sure Sarah knew the truth. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. Because that's what fathers do. We protect, even when it costs us everything, even when our daughters hate us for it, even when the world says we're the villain. Betrayal broke me, but it also rebuilt me. I learned that love isn't soft. It's not always warm. Sometimes love is showing up with an envelope of truth, knowing it might destroy you. Sometimes love is standing in a room full of people who think you're crazy, and doing it anyway. Trevor's gone now. I heard he moved 2 states over. New job, new girlfriend. I don't think about him much, but I think about Sarah every day. The way she laughs now. Free, light. The way she calls me every Tuesday again. Not because she has to, because she wants to. That's my revenge. Not his suffering, but her healing, and mine. So that's my story. The Christmas my daughter said I wasn't welcome, the night I walked into her house uninvited. The moment everything changed. If you've ever trusted someone who hurt you, I hope this story reminds you of something important. The truth always comes out. Always. It might take weeks, months, days. But lies have an expiration date. And the people who truly love you, they'll fight for you, even when you've pushed them away, even when you've told them to leave, even when it breaks them. I won't lie and say everything's perfect now. Sarah still has hard days, so do I. Betrayal leaves scars, but scars prove you survived. Trevor thought he could erase me, replace me, cash in and disappear. He forgot one thing. I wasn't just some obstacle. I was her father. And fathers don't quit. If you're going through something similar, if someone's trying to turn your family against you, document everything. Stay calm. Be smart. The truth is your weapon. Use it wisely. And if you're the one who pushed someone away because you believed a lie, it's not too late. Reach out. Ask questions. Give them a chance to tell their side. You might be surprised what you find. I almost lost my daughter, but I got her back. Not because I was perfect, but because I refused to let go. That's the lesson. Love doesn't quit, and neither should you. If this story hit you, leave a comment below. Tell me your story. You're not alone. Hit that like button if you believe in second chances. And subscribe. Because I've got more stories like this, real stories, about real people who survived real betrayal. Stay strong, stay fighting, and never let anyone tell you that love isn't worth the battle.